To see how good can a photographer be is not looking the Instagram, 100%. I never watch the Instagram and that's it. I say, what was your last work? Send me the Dropbox links that you sent to your client and tell me how many hours did you spend to produce, to post-produce. When I see that folder full of photos, normally are photos.
That's crazy.
No, but that's the reality. You have to be focused on more real things, on the real life, and not on the IG.
Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Fernando. Thank you so much for joining me.
Man, thanks to you, dude. I'm super glad to be here and doing one of probably my second interview in English, so sorry for that, sorry for my English, but I will do my best. But yeah, I'm Fernando Marmolejo, everyone call me Marmo. Marmolejo is a surname from South Spain, a big and famous one, and that's why everyone call me Marmo. And well, I don't know, do you want me to start from my beginnings or?
Yeah, totally. I would just love to hear about your background, how you got into photography. I love just hearing the background of people's story, and each person's story is so unique. So I would love to just hear about how you started in photography, but then as well, how you kind of built up to where you are.
So, well, first of all, I never been interested in photography and videography. I've been riding bikes all my life. Since 14, I start to do some competitions, like downhill stuff. And well, from there, I've been trying to collect all the magazines I can. So I've been interested in more in the photo than the photography, you know? So I've been collecting all those magazines, and I remember me as a teenager with all those photos on my wall. My wall was completely full of photos, no wall spaces, you know? I remember spending a lot of time on those magazines, but never interested in photography or how they took those photos. And well, was in 2007 when I started to study design. And then in design, there was one class who were more like a specific on photography. So there was when I take my first camera. There was a Nikon D80, I think. The 80, yeah, was the first one of the older range with the typical 1855. And from there, I've been mixing like the mountain biking and BMX and photography. But the key point on my photography history was before have that camera. I've been riding in Austria with friends, and I broke my collarbone. This one. When I broke that collarbone, that was the first day of a 1 week trip. So I spent my full week with the arm like this, and basically I've been watching my friends. And one of those friends gave me one tiny camera. That was before the GoPros, so that was 2007. And that camera, I've been holding it with the switch hand, and that gave me like I don't know, some kind of interesting new thing for me. But after that, I didn't stay super focused on photography. I just left, like okay, let's be more focused on writing. And but all my friends told me when they are listening my story, all of them say the same. Do you remember when would you take photos with your phone every time, and all the photos have a composition? So you being the photographer on the skate park with your phone, but no one takes more photos like you. And I didn't spend so much time on my reminding that thing. So for me was after the injury, but for all my friends was before the injury. Like you Marmo, been thinking as a photographer before your injury, but I didn't feel that, but all the people say the same. So after that, I received my first camera. My mom bought it. She was my sponsor for a long time. A long time. And well, I've been writing and photographing mixing together 50-50. I switched to BMX and I start to be the photographer of the skate park. You know, I've been on the skate park all the time, taking pictures with the skateboarding, the rollerblading, BMX, mountain bike, all those things I love. I've been taking pictures of that. And 1 year after that, I started in December 2008. And in mid 2009, I start to have my first covers on magazines, and that was super quick. And I start super quick with the flashes, like a 2 or 3 month. My third month with the camera, I just have my first flash with the trigger and all that things. Like a 35 euros trigger in eBay from China, you know, like a 2 month of waiting. And I don't know, but I don't know how was that feeling of in my amateur career, but was so fast because I can see the pictures from my early beginnings. And when I look at now all those pictures after 15 years, I think, it's like, you've been good on your beginnings. I think that I was more creative then than now. For example, I've been testing a lot of new techniques then. I've been all the time creating. So, well, I start to do some BMX trips. And in one of those trips, I meet one guy who got a huge dealer company in Spain, and he was surprised with my job and with my photography work, and he took me, and I start to travel with him. And I start to cover some big events like X Games or how was that? The FIS in Montpellier in France. So that was my 2-3 first years. That was my thing.
Wow, that is such a crazy story. Like just to go from school to a cover photographer within a year, basically.
Yeah,
like
that's
incredible.
Year. Yeah, it was my first year. Even I started to study photography on my second year of taking pictures because I really knew how to set the camera. I really knew how to set all the flashes, everything in manual. But I don't know how the camera is inside, how works everything inside. So I didn't know nothing about the photography in general, nothing about history, nothing in photography. So in my second year, I've been spending like 6 or 7 months in a little course of photography. Is some kind of big photographers were teaching me, but I've been more focused on sport. They were trying to push me in a kind of portraits or the social life or something like this, but after that I've been more focused on my thing. Is sport is what I control, and I think that is the thing that where I have to be.
Oh man, that's so cool. I have so many questions right now.
No,
But
throw it.
I guess the first question that really popped in my mind is, why did you choose photography over your design career? Like when that's what you went to school for?
Well, as I tell you, photography for me was nothing special at that time. Nothing special. I really like the pictures, but I've been more focused on the writing on those pictures than the pictures itself, you know. But my first 6 months, when I grow up as an amateur photographer a lot, I start to see that those covers and those magazines or those pictures, I felt like I know how to do it. So I push myself a little bit more, and I start to take some similar photos than those pictures, and that probably was the thing who motivates me to keep going on the photography.
Okay, that's really interesting. So do you think that your natural talent that you ultimately had kind of as things started to grow, do you feel as though that's ultimately why you got recognized?
I don't know if it's a talent or not. I think it's more than it's a feeling. It's when you have the sensitivity, you say, yeah. It's more about that. It's more how close I thought that I was in that time from the picture I really like. I think that was the key point.
So you're realistically just trying to recreate the looks that you see in magazines.
I've been copying my 2 first years, every single magazine. I have tons of magazines, like more than 100 kilos in the magazines or more, way more. I don't know. There is a lot. I've been buying magazines all my. I don't know, from the first one I remember was when I was 13, with the first DVD of extreme mountain biking. And with that DVD, I discovered the free riding and the downhill. So I've been riding bikes that time, but I didn't know that the free ride thing was there, waiting for for me. And I changed my vision about the mountain biking, and I start to buy more magazines, and every magazine I bought in that time was more extreme, and all those pictures was big jumps and motorcycles and mountain biking, and all that stuff really motivates me to keep going, to follow that way.
When you had said that, a lot of people were encouraging you to go into portrait photography and natural lifestyle, but you decided, no, I'm going to go in the sports route. Did you ever fear that there wouldn't be money in that field to do photography, or was it just your passion that led you in that way?
Yeah, man. I never been thinking about money, because never. And for me, that's the key of a lot of things. If you are thinking in money, probably, and more in the other side of the sea, in the ocean, in US, everyone are super focused in a company, in the future of your own company. But I've been more following my passion. My passion was 100% the sports. I'm a super motivated guy with every kind of sport who the wheels or the table are jumping. Whatever is jumping, I really love it. I really love it. That's why, for example, I don't really like football, not the American football, the European one, but I really like basket as a normal sport. But basketball is I try one time take pictures, but it's not my thing. I prefer action and extreme sports.
So obviously it all started with the biking and that field. How did that progress into other sports? Like I know you shoot dirt bikes, I know that you shoot cars. Was it more just as the opportunity opened that you found those sports, or was it that you were pursuing those sports
Well,
because you wanted to try them?
no, it was because from 2008 to 2016, I've been organizing big BMX event, and we had a big website when the websites and the blogs, blogspot.com, when the blogs are cool and trendy, when we're cool and trendy. We have a good one in Spain, and we've been moving a lot in all those areas, and Monster Energy start to sponsor our blog. So that's the first contact with Monster Energy. We start as a partner. They start with us as a partner because those BMX events. So after that, they called me because they want me to work with them in the marketing team as a Matt, the guys with the truck giving cans to everyone, that position. So they called me for that, and for me was, imagine, I got that time at 21, I think, and with 21 years old, working for the biggest American action sport company ever, well, for me it was a dream. I say yes, and I start with them in 2011 to work with them. So I'm 13 years on the company. And that gave me the opportunity working as a mat, not working as a photographer. Working as a mat, they give me the opportunity to work in a lot of big events, like MotoGP, Motocross GP, Rallycross, F1, I don't know, a snowboard, dirt bikes, every single one. So I've been in those events working with the cans. Like a bartender, opening cans. Hello, what's your flavor? And after that, in the 15, I've been in MotoGP in Catalonia, and I always have my camera with me in every single event. I was working as a mat, but always with my camera. I always bring with me my fisheye, all my fixed lenses, my prime ones. And on my free time, normally the people was always smoking, and I didn't smoke, so I spent time taking pictures. And sometimes the staff credential give me the opportunity to stay in some kind of special corners just for workers, and I use that to take good pictures. In the big events like Motocross GP, I remember one time in the 2014, I take one picture. First one, I've been in a corner after giving some cans. I remember to find a place behind a fence. So I've been on the floor in a little hole between the dirt and the fence. So I put my 200 there, and I shoot the first picture. And I don't know why, was Covington, Thomas Covington, and he was a Monster Energy athlete. On his back, there was a huge monster fence, and the cropping was perfectly done, like a Monster Energy athlete, a huge turn with the feet like this, all the muscles here touching the floor. So incredible first picture, and I was, okay, I need to show this to my boss. So I run up, I show him the picture, and he told me, you know who this guy is? And I don't know, he's a monster guy, I don't know nothing about the dirt bikes. And he told me, he's the guy, he's the boy of the top boss in Monster Energy. And I said, is his son? And that guy was the son of Covington, and Covington is the second behind the CEO, is the second one in the company. So that was super insane. And when we sent that picture to that boss, he was super happy, and they print that picture in all over the fences. And the next year, on the motocross GP, they used my photo to cover the grandstands, not the fences, the grandstands behind. So and that was like my first contact with Monster as a photographer. But nothing happens. Just that was, and that's it. In the 15, I decided to cut that free photos because I've been taking pictures as a motivated little guy and giving for free for Monster, not on the events, just because I've been with the truck and taking some pictures and everything for free. I gave him for free everything because wasn't my goal wasn't to be a professional photographer. So imagine that I've been taking pictures for probably 7 years, and wasn't my goal to be a professional photo. That was just my passion. But on that time, I think that I had the enough quality to offer in a company like a Monster Energy. So next year, I decide to cut that thing, to cut the free photos, and to take one step back and say, if you want my photos, pay me, because you are using my pictures all this year, and that photographer is being paid by you, and and you are using mine. So that was in Catalonia GP. And in that moment was when that changed. That changed like completely. And from that moment, I started to be a self-employee, half-time, and another half-time working for Monster Energy as a mat. And in the 17th, I decided to say goodbye to the marketing team and start my career as a professional photographer. And
wow.
That's my history with Monster.
Wow. Yeah, because you have so much experience now, having shot all these things, having all these photos under your belt from, what is that, 4 years maybe, or 3 years of doing this consistently.
Yeah, I've been organizing big events, like a big event. I've been giving 5.5K in cash per day in BMX events. Even the biggest street BMX event now in the world have that money, and I have it that time. So, and my events were big, so I have that opportunity, and I did all that thing just for free because it was my passion also to share with people all that and to share with the BMX community. But the thing is, I have now a lot of experience in big events, not only as an organizer, just as a worker inside, taking boxes and helping in production, and also now as a photographer, just an amateur photographer behind the fence, and as a top photographer, I think I have a lot of different kind of key points, eye points to see a event.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean your photography is incredible. I love your perspective. I love the way that you tell stories. Like, it really does show that you have a talent and a gift. So basically, kind of the whole premise behind the story is just be willing to take action in the direction, no matter what it may look like, because what was it, 5 years that you did this gig for Monster, but yet you still weren't doing it as a photographer?
Yeah.
Is that right?
5 years and a half, because I decided to move from Monster in the mid 16, and I do it in 17.
Okay, so were you nervous going out on your own to say, okay, now I'm going to be a photographer?
Man, that was the most exciting step I never done in my life. Nah, 100%. As a photographer, you never are like 100% sure that your skills are enough to cover your bills. Your skills are not enough to cover your bills. Yeah, that's a thing that I'm still thinking sometimes when wow, everyone is growing a lot. I'm still on the good way. Should I change something? So, yeah, that was the biggest question, and I've been scared, 100%, super nervous, 0% decide. Was like, oh, okay, I have to do it, but I'm not sure if I have to do it, because for that time I didn't have money from photography, and I didn't make. I don't know. I think that I have 2 clients all over the year, 2 clients. And with both, I didn't have more than 10K on those. So
Per month or year?
no, year.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was a biggest step for me, because I've been scared. Like, dude, you have to run if you want to stay alive in this world. Yeah.
So, in perspective to that, people might be saying, okay, I'm ready to run, I'm ready to go, and I'm fired up. But what does that look like? Like, getting connected. You had mentioned somebody before that you had connected with that got you involved in the X Games and things like that. How did you initially find that connection? Was it, once again, being in the right place at the right time, or how did that come to be?
For me, the biggest, well, I always I have to say that always, because it's the real truth. But Monster Energy for me was a huge key. They give me the opportunity to stay in the biggest places all over the world, and meet the greatest athletes, and have the opportunity to shoot with them and see another photographer works. If you are honest with yourself, it's good to see another how they work. If you are not still a professional, it's good to know, because on that time I thought that I can be one of them. I've been working as a mat, but looking a lot of photographers working, and I've been thinking. I remember thinking like, dude, I can be one of them, and I'm here with the cans. And and sometimes was really that guy is really taking the official's picture of this. And one time, second, third, and a lot of times that happened to me, and probably that was the biggest, the biggest thought in my mind to take that step. But I don't know, probably because I have I've been 100% sure that Monster is gonna turn into my client after leave the company. So I've been talking with them like, if I leave, you have to call me to be your photographer. And that happens. So because there were a lot of years and a lot of events, and I know everyone, and I have fun with everyone, and So many people love me as a person, not as a photographer or nothing. So that relationship with all of them give me also the opportunity to work with them in the future.
So it was just kind of extending your relationship with them.
100%.
Now, okay, so let's say if somebody's just getting started in the market of photography and maybe they don't have the opportunity to work with a brand on this level, or maybe they want to pursue photography and maybe they have clients in a different field other than sports, but they want to start pursuing sports more. Let's say if you were doing it all over again and the experiences you had didn't happen the way that they did, what would be a way that you would reapproach your journey to photography to try and build up clients in this space of action sports or extreme sports?
The only thing probably I can change in my career is to start earlier, to don't give him for free my work. Start earlier with that thing. Because was my passion, I share with everyone because was my passion. Wasn't my, okay, I have to be a professional photographer. I have, no, was not my business, was my passion. And that also was the key to keep going and keep creating with that pressure. You know, because sometimes when you have that pressure, you probably are not focused 100% on creating cool things, new things, or just to create your own style. I create my own style even with no money, with no clients. You know, I had my own color and my own compositions, and I didn't have clients of that time. But I have they give me there was a action sports Oscars in Spain, like the action sport events to. I cannot find the word to say the award. It was an award ceremony to just to say thank you to everyone on the business who stay on or just for stay on the market in every single sport, motor sports, action sports. So I've been in 13 and 14. Well, in 12, I've been nominee to Best Spain Photographer, Action Sport Photographer. In 13, I win the award, and in 14, I win again. And they, surprisingly, they called me because they give me the award of like a legend.
What?
Dude, that was crazy. I've been super inside the sport, the BMX thing. I've been super inside. And as I told you, with the events and all that stuff, I create a lot of cool things in that moment. But as a photographer, we were 3 in Spain, so it was easy to be the first one. So there was not so many people do that the same than me. Before Monster, before being a professional photographer, I have my own style. And when you have all those reasons to keep doing photography, then I think it's the time to say, okay, I have enough to be a photographer, to be a professional photographer, because now it's completely the opposite. Now the kids are like, my pictures have 1,000 likes. And my reels have 70K views, so I can turn into a professional photographer. And now I'm content creator. And it's like, dude, you don't know nothing about to be on the field working. You just have to put a cool filter in a cool photo, but a photographer is not the photo. It's, for me, a photographer or a videographer is how you can solve all those problems in the field and in a moment, like instantly.
I love that. That's exactly it. It's knowing how to work with the talent, knowing how to work with athletes, knowing how to perform in these high pace environments. But yeah, like when you build out your portfolio, then it builds the confidence more so, because yeah, you're so right. Anybody can be a photographer on Instagram and get lots of likes, but yet sometimes you go to their page and you think the work isn't inspiring. And I think it's because they're not pushing themselves to go out in the field and like you said, when you were just starting out, you went crazy creative. And it was all off of inspiration.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people go out to shoot what's mainstream, not what the highest level people are producing.
Yeah, I think to see how cool or how good can a photographer be is not looking the Instagram 100%. Now I'm building a team. I have bigger projects, and I'm working with new people to have more people to build a new company and to build a team. And I never watch the Instagram and that's it. I say, what was your last work? This one. Okay, send me the Dropbox links that you sent to your client and tell me how many hours did you spend to produce all that thing and to post-produce all that thing. Give me that information, and when I see that folder full of photos, normally are shitty photos and 3 are for Instagram.
That's crazy.
Nah, but that's the reality. Even sometimes for me, it's like, okay, I have 2 cool pictures, but the reality of that day was a shit day. I didn't have the chance to create more cool pictures. But every year is going, and now I have a lot of experience, and now when I send a full project, normally the 90 or the 80% of my work is Instagrammable. You can post it, and how much Instagram you have in just one folder of working, and that means experience. That means how focused you can be on your creativity and not on how engagement you are gonna have after that work, or I don't know. You have to be focused on more real things, on the real life. And not on the IG. But dude, that's another question. I've been around and around.
I love that you said that, because I don't think that is something that's being talked about enough. That honestly is something I have never heard before from somebody online, from somebody within the photography community. Is this is the way that I think very similar to you,
Yeah.
but I never really knew how to express it. But it's like, no matter what project you're taking, even if you're just building up your portfolio now, you're working with athletes, are you putting in the maximum amount of effort to make this look the best that it can possibly be?
Yeah.
Even if you're shooting for 0 budget, is it going to be work that you're proud to print? Is that work that you'd be proud to send off to a client? Like, does it have the highest stamp of approval, and not the approval of likes and all these social media metrics? It's so false.
Yeah.
And you're so right. You need to live in the real world, not in the online world, because realistically, what brand is going to want to just have an Instagram photo and not use it for print, not use it for their website.
I have to say something about that. Nowadays, there are too many content creators working with zero experience and making a good money for offering not so much experience, and that I can say because I live that. I live how a client talked to me like, dude, I've been working last week with a young guy who do this and that, and dude, they don't know how to say on the place, they don't know how to talk with the athlete, and or giving just a moment to do another round or another lap or another shoot. And I'm not talking about the talent of photography. The talent of the photography or videography is just 20% of all the time working as a photographer. So your talent is not just that. Is how you spend your free time with the client doing what. How you spend your free time when you are not with the client, and I don't know how you treat the athletes. They are stars, and I see some people that never seen Valentino Rossi or Hamilton or whatever, and they are like super crazy, stupid little kids, like, like oh. And I say, dude, he's a normal person, and you have to be super. I know that you understand me, but that thing have I don't know how to say in English. In Spanish, we say the days are counted. Sorry, that's on. So there are so many people who do that, young guys or amateur photographer who turn super quickly to professional. They don't have, I think, the time. They are turning again to the amateur client is going to be super quick, because the people are talking all the time, and your work is not that photo in Instagram that you post. And the most of the time, the people post something, and the reality of that project was shit. And that's the reality. And I didn't feel that nowadays with like a new kids, like a how to say, like using my clients or stealing my clients. That not happened to me. But for example, my girlfriend is a wedding photographer. That happened to her a lot, because in that area, in the wedding photography, there is a lot of new talents with cool Instagrams, with really cool budgets, but zero experience. And the first wedding cool, second cool, but the third one, the people are talking shit about you. And that's why I say, like, you have to stay calm, build yourself as a photographer, but not as a professional, more as a passionate photographer, and use that passion to turn into a job, a real job.
Wow, I'm loving this conversation. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so interesting you bring that up, because I've often wondered at the start of my career why I couldn't get these big clients, and I was so overconfident, thinking that I could do these shoots, and I'm worthy and deserving of this. Like I can't believe I haven't got those shoots yet. But it's hilarious. It's so ignorant, and I just started to realize this within the past couple years, if I would have got those large shoots and I would have done these huge projects, I probably would have failed and I would have ruined my reputation among the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something young people don't think about is learn to walk before you run so that you don't ruin your reputation.
That's it.
Because
That's it.
like you said, people talk. That's huge.
That's why you cannot drive until have 18 here or 21 there. You can drive with 12, but you probably can ruin your life. You know, first step by step, and don't think about the money. Think about if you can be a guy who wake up in the morning and the first thing wants to do is take pictures. If you really, really, really love that, you probably can spend your life doing that and making money about that.
That's amazing. I love that whole segment. That just gets me so excited just because I think there's so many young people that are starting, but they don't exactly know how to get to the next level or what steps to take next. Even if they don't think I'm deserving of this at this point, they still are just wondering, okay, what are my next steps? How can I work on myself? And I love how you said that, just finding your passion in photography, building up your portfolio and treating it as though this means just the same as though you were working with a real client.
Yeah, for example,
amazing.
As you say, build that portfolio. For sure, you have to build it. I've been building that for 9 years before I turned a professional. But I didn't been thinking I need a portfolio. Let's spend a lot of years. No, I just did it, and the passion turned it automatically. But for example, now I use a lot of my free time to create new portfolio. Just I talk with a friend and I say, dude, let's go to whatever in Spain, or let's go to France, let's move to Portugal, and let's create something cool for us. No thinking if we later we can sell this project to a huge brand. No, dude, do it because you really love it. That's the best way to create something very, very cool and something that really show how you are as a professional, your style and everything. Because if you create that thing and you talk with an athlete and then they talk with the brand is inside your project and the brand change your project. So trying to spend 1 or 2 times per year to create something cool just for you. And I have to lose a lot of opportunity to see that in a lot of years. Because I've been, how I tell you, I've been a lot of way more creative back in the days than now. And that was because I'm using my passion 100% and not my profession. And now I'm using my profession 100% and my passion, well, not 100%, but 85%. And the 50% of my life I'm using my passion. But that time is super short. There are not weeks to create something cool. There are hours in one day to go with someone to some little spot, you know? And you have to create your own time to create that portfolio that you have in your mind, and have notebooks and write your ideas. And Instagram, for example, for me is super inspirational, and it's a great tool, but it's not everything, you know? It's not everything.
You had said at the start, and this kind of maybe just made it come full circle for me. You had said, I'm not as creative as I was when I first started out. And when you had just said that now it's more so work and you have less time to pull yourself away from work to really pour into these creative projects and do something for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel that that gets in the way of you producing better work that's more innovative? And do you feel like creatives should spend more time, well, I wouldn't say more time, but emphasize, because I know you had said, you know, shoot 2 to 3 projects a year for yourself. Like, do you think that they should really be emphasizing that to further enhance their creativity for clients?
It is really, really difficult to find the balance between those two, because this is not a 50-50, because the passion don't pay the bills. In my case, I've been like probably the first 2-3 years, like 18, 19, and 20. Well, 20, you know, but probably the first 2 years, I've been spending a lot of time doing events, like big events, everything like a world championships of everything. And in those events, you don't have time to be creative, because Instagram don't let you be creative, because it's going so fast and everything has to be posted now. So you only have the chance to take up one picture, edit super quickly on the phone, and send everything, because they need to post it in the same moment. And nowadays, 2024, that cannot happen, because the phone clip is before your movie. And that happened to me like in 18 and 19. I've been creating a lot of things in events, and I didn't have time to put my creativity, probably the creativity to put me in that place, because some people choose me because that creativity. And let's say my creativity was in 75% and keeps there. But in my early beginnings was in 200, 100%. 100%, because I can see the pictures. And on the lockdown, I've been re-editing all my best pictures all over the years. And I've been super surprised with my technique in the early beginnings. Like, dude, how you can do that thing with that camera and that flashes, that lens, and no knowledge about photography. Like a super cool, long exposure pictures with flashes in the middle. And technically, I've been doing a lot of cool things, super creative, that I think that now I cannot do it like that quick. I cannot explain that. I need to spend way more time to do that than before. I need to write a lot, see a lot of books to create the same level of creativity than before.
So it's almost like you were spending so much time in the books and being inspired and getting creative that fueled you so much faster.
Yeah.
And it's almost like now you've kind of stepped away from the books to focus on the business, because the business is important.
Yeah.
But that it was kind of the reverse role.
That's it.
That's so
it.
interesting.
And these 2 years back, 23 and 22, 23, I've been focused on create those moments to me, super focused, because now I really know that if I really spend that moment, I'm going to transform it in money. I 100% know that. Before, probably not. Before I just thought about this is not investing, it's wasting time, and now it's 100% invest.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of creatives see things that aren't working for clients or working in a job, and if I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing it. Like
No.
such a terrible mentality.
Yeah, no. It's about more like you have to find your way to do it possible and motivated for you. Not for it have to be in. We are talking about action sports. You have
Yeah,
to work to find a way to do it with the athlete and with you, and making and telling the truth to the athlete, like, dude, this is for you and for me, no brands. So when we post this, no any brand is going to take the content to their self. It's your content and my content. If the brands who support you wants content, they have to pay for a new project. That's the way.
yeah.
And I spent years to start to think like that, because
That's really interesting. I don't know if I've ever thought like that. Like, you know, you always hear people say, "Well, they can always buy the project." But why do you think in terms of instead of them buying the project, it's better to just do a new one? Is it to protect that creativity that you created on your own?
protect their essence 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Because
and not let that creativity be tainted
yeah,
by money.
too many times I've been doing things by passion, and in the middle of that productions day, any brand who supports the athlete know that we are doing something, and they say, hey, if you do something more or something else for me, I can pay you, and everything change. Depends if I need the money or not, I accept or not, and depends if that broke all the chains on the essence way or not. But always broke the essence. If you can separate your project and also add 2 more days that the brand is going to pay you, and in those extra days you do the brand thing, cool, and don't touch your own thing, because it's yours, it's your baby. And if you are smart and you put all your passion there, you probably make it better, and that brand is going to call you to do something better than this, but paying. I was thinking about something very important in that investment time creating new projects. Is always super important the kind of athlete you choose for that project. At the beginning are your friends, the kind of friend is super good in your town. And after that, you can have the chance, because a brand meet you, or you meet a new athlete super good in your country. But step by step, you are going into the top level athletes. And now when I choose an athlete to do that kind of project, I am super thankful and super honored to be working with top athletes than 20 years ago there was in my wall in a poster, you know. And now they are friends of mine. And if you have the chance to do that just for passion, not because you are interested on them to use them as a tool, like I feel like I'm I don't know how to say that in English, but I really want to share my passion with another people. And when I found someone who do the same but with bikes, skates, or dirt biking, whatever, I feel a super good connection. And when that connection is that strong, the project is going boom to the moon. So it's super important to choose. And obviously, if you want to be how you say, like if you want to have a good engagement after your passion project, obviously you have to choose someone who have enough engagement to push you, or sometimes you have more engagement than your athlete, but your athletes have something super good that no one have with likes. That's why you have to really be super focused on what kind of rider, what kind of style for your project. The location is super important, and I don't know, years of experience makes you know a lot of people all over the places, and with a simple call you have a free spot for you and free time of that athlete, and free belief in yourself as a professional. Like they really trust you in like you are gonna do something super cool for everyone. That's super important.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you highlighted that, because actually I recently just made a Instagram post talking about how it's so important to level up your athletes and level up your talent ultimately, because when you do that, it just produces better results that you can share for your portfolio, and ultimately your work starts to look a lot better. I also really like that you highlighted the fact that it's so important just to be sensitive to the athletes that you're around. I mean, just being grateful that you're there with them, and as well, like, not trying to just use them. Like, you know, that's something I also highlight, is like being aware that you need to provide value to them, and yes, they're providing their skills, but you need to deliver in terms of the photos that you deliver.
Sometimes you have the gift, because that is, for me, is another gift to spend time with those kind of people, and sometimes really gifted people are not super cool people. They're super gifted athletes, and today, for example, I spend sometimes talking with a little girl who rides cross-country mountain biking. It's from my town, from my city. In my city, there is not so much sports, cool sports level happening. Malaga is south of Spain, super south, and everything is in Malaga, Madrid, or Barcelona. Everything is happening there. In my city, there is not so much happening. So sometimes you have the chance to have a time with one emerging talent, and that emerging talent just signed a contract with a huge brand, and I just see the brand, and we have a new athlete, and I say, oh, that girl is from Seville. She follow me, and I follow her, and I see the message. We've been talking to do a session. Okay, now is the time to do it. Now is the time, and I've been super clear, super transparent. Like, I don't want to be the photographer of your team, because she told me, like, no, I need to talk with my manager, because probably we have because our another photographer don't let work with another ones. And I say, no, I don't want to be the photographer of your team. I don't want races. I don't. And my way to do the thing is not passing others over others. You know, everyone have his time and his position, and whatever you do, put in the position you deserve. You know, if don't push it. So I've been focused. I've been super transparent with her. Like, hey, let's work for us, just for us. If the work is good, it's gonna work alone by itself. Someone is gonna take it and say, that guy is good. Let's work with them. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I need to do something with cross country, because it's a mountain bike thing that I've been doing for years. I really like it. It's not the most extreme, but have a lot of history to tell. I have an opportunity to create something more with a good storytelling, and maybe this girl is the one. So it's just to choose to pick up someone close to you, and that easy, because in one call it's like, hey, what are you doing this afternoon? Let's go riding and I will take my camera and let's do something cool. That's super important. And sometimes you are living in the middle of nowhere and you don't have no one to shoot, and this is a shit. But if you have to move, you have to move. But I'm not living in the center of the sports. But if I have to move somewhere with my van and stay there for a few days working for me, I will do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I'm a huge believer myself that if you want to level up the talent that you're around, or even just the people that you're around, it's so important to be in a place where the talent is and be in the place where things are happening, because realistically, the work is not going to come if you are in the wrong place where the industry is going on. Like, whether that's fashion, whether that's sports, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just important to be in the right place. So just to change direction here, how would you go about pricing your photography and your projects?
For example, I changed a lot my rate these 2 years back, and this 2023 changed a lot, and I've been super afraid to do it, because I charge more for the same work that I've been doing the year before. But I know that I'm not in the same rate than the others. I've been super below, and I was, dude, why I'm afraid? I'm the same than then. Let's do it. But that afraid is like when you, it depends. If you are going into the clients with your project, you have to, sometimes, you have to adapt to the client's budget. When the client goes to you, no, because, hey, how are you? We need a photographer. No, we need you. When they say we need you because we like you, the game change completely. So it's not that moment to, okay, let's make the biggest budget ever. No, it's just the first step to start to have a similar budget than others. But even if you don't know how much to charge, it's time to put a price for your hour. How much charge someone working in McDonald's per hour? Okay, how many like them there is in your area in 50 kilometers? So how many like you there are in 50 kilometers? So that price is increasing. So if you don't know how much to charge, you have to start as with a normal employee of a normal company, and then start like this. In Spain, a normal what's Super Mario do with the water things? Super Mario is a plumber, but this is a good example. A plumber goes to your home and make a solution in less than 1 hour, and in Spain cost maybe 100 euros. 1 hour, 100 euros? One guy, and you take a call and you have 5 more in your town? So start from there. How much investment that plumber have with all his tools? Make account with that. The thing is happening right now is this IG new content creators. They don't have experience, and they don't have someone who tells them, dude, you have to charge more. They are not self-employed, most of them. They are just starting to make money with the photography. And for them, 300 euros in one day is insane. And they probably say yes. And they are offering the 300% that they can do in one day, like everything. That puts you in a position as a professional, like if you are not adapt to this 300 euros per day, you are losing the client. So is that the moment that when you are talking with the client is like, do you want someone who makes your project 100% not durable, like a believing project, or not? Because if he is giving to you like I don't know how many pictures, 10 different reels, okay, but what's the price of that? And not in terms of money, just in terms of mailing, discussions, and you have to make a balance. And sometimes the kind of clients who pay 300 euros per day is not your client, because that client, and we nowadays we are always looking the filming co is the account of a lot of filming in Instagram. Yeah, no? They put a lot of memes like the low budget client giving to you more problems than the high budget clients. What kind of client do you want to have? And how many years do you want to be in that kind of client level? So there are a lot of questions to do to yourself.
Yeah, you're so right. I think it's just so important to be aware of your own skill level, where you're at, what kind of clients you want, and ultimately it's just working up the ladder to getting the clients that are going to treat you and pay you the way that you want. And that's just really important things to think about and just like realize where you are in your career. So as we kind of bring things to a close, there is one thing that I've kind of been dying to ask you. So on your Instagram feed, people are going to see a ton of fisheye lens photos, and I love that. I feel like it brings so much energy to the images that you create. So why is it that you started using the fisheye lens in the first place? I think a lot of people kind of avoid that lens just because it's so wide and it's just has its own style. Like, what got you into using that lens?
Well, was the first lens I bought, and I always say like it's the most difficult lens to work with, because everything is on the shop. So you have to choose every single element on the composition. Every single tree, the columns, benches, everything is on the shop. So on the 90s, the fisheye were used a lot, and more in those skates and BMX videos. And that was probably my inspiration. The skating photography was my inspiration to use the fisheye. And I use the fisheye for everything. I always work with my fisheye. And for sure, this is one of the keys of my own style. And how you use the fisheye, because the people say, no, everything is on the shelf, so I shoot without looking. No, it's not like this. You have to choose perfectly where your guy is going to be, because the distortion is going to affect to the feet or to the hand. So use those distortions in your way, no, in the opposite way. And sometimes that gives you the closest angle you can have. And that means a lot of adrenaline when you are shooting, because the action is happening super close to you. Sometimes athletes hit me with the wheel, and but it's normal. If you are super close, sometimes it's happening. But for me as a rider, I need that adrenaline also when I'm shooting. You know, a lot of people don't need that because they never try another extreme sport. But I really love to do the extreme sports, and I need that adrenaline. So that's another reason because I always do that kind of picture. I really like to that everything happening super close to me. No, but you cannot do that with every single rider. A rider with a lot of experience is always a pleasure to do that because you can see the control. It's like a bullfighter, you know. You have to go with him and take out the camera at the last moment. I never do that comparison, but it's like a bullfighter, and because now I'm thinking in a super wide angle picture I have with Tony Cairoli, the motocross champion, and I've been just following him, but I just shoot one picture because I've been with flashes, and I've been waiting that moment, and the moment was with the handlebar like in front of me, in front of my angle, to my lens, like 5 centimeters, because I see the pictures, the behind the scenes, and that was so close. But it's the only way to have a wow picture, you know, a wow feeling. The Red Bull Illum contest. I just put my pictures 2 times. The 13 and 16, and I've been in the book 2 times, and both with fisheye angles, and both in energy category, because the fisheye gives you that energy.
And yeah, you can definitely tell that the energy comes through in your images a lot. Thank you so much, Fernando, for joining me and just coming to sit down and have this conversation. It was such a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you for choosing me, for calling me, for texting me, for everything. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be with you chatting about photography.
If you guys would like to find out more information about Fernando or check out his Instagram, I will leave that in the description below, and you guys can go check that out. All right, catch you guys later. Peace.